Hey, y'all, welcome. Welcome. If you've been praying about your preparation season, that is what this message is all about. And I kind of scratched the surface on my last message, but I just want to encourage many of you today that know that you are in a transitional phase. You are getting ready to move into another level, whether it's physically moving, you're actually getting ready to move. You know that you're preparing for what God has promised you. You are getting ready. I don't know why I keep leaning on that, but for many of you, you're actually getting ready to physically move into a new place, move into a new location. You're moving into a new status. That's what I see for this message. If you are getting ready and you're in that place, this message is for you. Don't go anywhere. This is your word for today. God is so awesome because he is just pouring out these messages on me that I don't know who exactly it's for as I'm sharing it, but I do know that God has a plan for each and every one of you. And if this resonates with you, I say take every message that you're hearing from me, take it to the Lord. This is just kind of like that, a little bit of fuel as you are already being ignited, as God is already speaking to you. I'm just coming through as confirmation and pointing you right back to God. Point blank, period. Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything that you're looking for confirmation around, everything that you're praying for, all these things shall be added to you. So I'll be right back to get into this message for you. And I think it's going to be such a blessing for those of you who this message is for. Welcome back. All right. So I'm Erica Latrice. This is your new beginning. And as I tell you all the time, my passion, my purpose is helping you to live yours. So I want to get into this message because I've read Isaiah 54 to you all. I've done this in past videos, but this particular part of Isaiah 54 has been standing out to me. And I just want to encourage you to go read it when you get a chance. Isaiah 54, I'm going to read verses 1-3. And I may even keep going because it's so good. Sing, O barren, sing, a barren woman, you who never bore a child. I was reading another version. I had to they reel it on into the simplified version, like not the amplified, the simplified version. Sing, barren woman, you who never bore a child. Burst into song, shout for joy, you who were never in labor. Because more are the children of the desolate woman than of her who has a husband, says the Lord. Enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes. I'll keep going. For you will spread out to the right and to the left. Your descendants will dispossess nations and settle in their desolate cities. And I'll keep going just for this next part. Do not be afraid. You will not be ashamed. That is the message right there. And I'm going to go back to 2. Enlarge the place of your tent, stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back, lengthen your cords, strengthen your stakes, for you will spread out to the right and to the left. Your descendants will dispossess nations and settle in their desolate cities. I love when I read God's promises throughout, his promises to his children, because again, I talk a lot about how God will give us glimpses all the time of his character. And when we think about like this piece, as he was telling them to stretch out their tents, that's what I believe for so many of you, that you are in this place. And even how I just keep talking about this moving, for those of you that God is either calling you to move right now or is confirming it through this message, that it's time to move, whether it's a physical move or many of you, it's a status change. And what was working before, the small places, being camped out in temporary spots, it was never meant to be permanent. Never meant to be permanent. So for many of you, what God is speaking to you right now is that it's time to enlarge your tent, make room, make space, get ready, get in position to receive that next status. And the best way that I can explain this to you is in my former life in my career environment, I would work, and I worked in the area of supported employment and doing job coaching. And I've been on the side of interviewer and interviewee, preparing someone to receive a job, as well as going through and qualifying candidates to get offered the job. And one of the things that I find is that The question that would always come up when I was booking people for their interviews is, what should I wear? The question that same would come up when I was helping others to get jobs is, what should I wear? And my answer to them, and this is one of the things that we would teach, is get an idea of the environment that you're going to be in. If you're getting ready to go work in an environment where it's rough and tough, they're out there doing like hardcore manual labor, getting dirty, and you come into this interview with a 17-piece suit on, they're going to think that you're not equipped for where you're going, for your status change. And the same would be true if you're going into a place where people are wearing these 17, 19-piece suits, and you come in there with a wrinkled up t-shirt. Don't go wrinkled anywhere, you all, but a wrinkled up t-shirt or some sweatpants, really casual, you also don't fit in the environment that you're looking to transition into. That is the word for many of you all. It's time to prepare and position yourself for where you're desiring to be. Go and look. And this takes me back to Joshua and Caleb. When they went in, they were getting ready to go and to possess the land of the promise that brought forth rest. So even for many of you, what you're going to see with this status change is that God is going to give you rest. He blesses us. He adds no burden to it. You're not going to be having to do this by the sweat of your brow. It's going to be with ease. But when they went in, before they possessed the land, they went in to spy it out, to see what they were going in to possess. They brought back fruit from that land. Many of you, it's time to start going into the place that you are preparing to possess. That status change, that thing that you're looking to. My phone is going off. That's how I know this message is for someone. I'm getting all these distractions coming. A bug tried to attack me a second ago. Now my phone keeps ringing. But when you get ready to go in to possess that land, you need to know what you're possessing. That's called get quiet and get clear. Get that clarity. God will show you. You'll start seeing those things. Most everything that I'm walking in, God took me there before it became available for me. Like God took me through it. I experienced it before I actually inherited it. So think about that. There are things that you have experienced. It's a tongue twister, that you've experienced that you're now getting ready to inherit. You're wondering, why do you look around and so many of the people around you are being elevated in this way? And I want to speak to this too, because sometimes we can get jealous of others. You're looking, and my old pastor used to say this, when God blesses your neighbor, that means he's in your neighborhood. Don't get jealous, celebrate. Don't get jealous anyways, like period. Don't even live a life like that. That's such like a horrible seed to sow into your life. But start celebrating, start looking around. Is everyone around you getting elevated to a certain status? It just means that you are experiencing it so you can get ready to inherit it. You are experiencing it to get ready to inherit it. Y'all, I believe this so strongly. So for many of you, God has already given you a glimpse of where he's taking you. You have walked through the homes. You have seen those with the spouses. You are experiencing what it's like to be in that role in your company. You are getting that time freedom. You finally figured out, maybe you've been praying about entrepreneurship and God has allowed and opened the door for you to get away for just a bit. All of these things, he is preparing you. Because again, when God blesses you, not when you make the blessing happen, not when you manipulate the situation, not when you make it happen. When God blesses you, he adds no sorrow to it. And that is why many of you are being exposed to the experience to get ready for the inheritance. You're getting the experience so you can get ready for the inheritance. So that is the message for you all today. I talked about perceiving it, and today I'm talking about getting in position, prepare for it. And I just want to reiterate Isaiah 54 to you all today. I'm leaving you with this: enlarge the place of your tent. Start dressing like, acting like, talking like, walking like where you're headed. You become that thing before you experience it. You become that thing before you inherit it. So when we talk about even like just speaking of this marriage, for many of you that desire a status change in your relationship, you are the wife before he finds you. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, not he who finds a side chick or he who finds a selfish single or however, but when that just stuck out to me just now for some reason. But when he finds you, you're already that wife. When we are looking to fill a position, back to that job scenario, We are looking for, and then most companies go ahead and describe what they're looking for. I'm looking for an executive assistant, or I'm looking for a marketing manager. I'm not looking for a assistant mentality to come in and be the manager. Like, you need to already be the manager when you show up at this interview. You need to already be it when you show up to inherit it. We're not looking for renters. When it's time to purchase the home, we're looking for homeowners. Like, you got to have that homeowner mentality. For those of you that are looking for that move, it's called taking care of that rental, or taking care of whatever situation and living situation you're in as if you own it. Because if you're not, like, that's a whole message right there. You're taking care of it. You're acting like, you're walking like, you're talking like, you're being that person that's ready to receive. And I keep talking about the Isaiah 43:19. Now shall you perceive it. When you perceive it now, you walk in it now. You're not waiting for someone to call you a wife before you become a wife. You're not waiting for someone to call you or to accept your offer to be the homeowner. You're not waiting for someone to say, yes, you're a manager, to be the manager. You're not waiting for someone else to say, yes, your business has been approved, to be the CEO. You are the CEO. And this is for those of you that have been called to business. You're the CEO before you file your articles of incorporation. When they say, what's your role? You're the manager, you're the owner, you're the president before you apply. You have experienced it. You are it before you inherit it. And that's what I really want to drive home to you all. That's how you prepare. You become it. You are it. By becoming it, you're going to see how those things change. And that's a blessing where there's no sorrow added to it. And I'll go a little deeper into that probably in a future message. But that's my message for you all today. I hope this encouraged you. If it did, tag someone, tell someone. You can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. And if you are looking for a community, if you want more support and tools around turning your message into a movement, especially if you are called to entrepreneurship, go into amplifyher.group. I'll have that link below. And you can get connected with me and thousands of women from around the world with the Amplify Her Global Movement. That just helps you expand your reach, increase your voice to stand boldly and confidently on your story. So go out, as I always tell you, and make today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, not last week. Go out and make today amazing, because it's absolutely a choice. Take care.